bodily, both of us, and shaken like rats in a terrier's jaws. Granted, neither of us is over 9 stone, but still, we were 2 grown men. He was real, I told myself. The Whitechapel killer is real. We had come in search of him, but he had found us instead. He carried us, still hanging by the collars of our jackets, into the light provided by a sputtering gaslight from a nearby tenement. "And what are you rascals up to, capering about in the middle of the night?" Cyrus Barker demanded in his low Scots accent. If it is possible to collapse without actually touching the ground, then we did. I went limp with relief, and would have spoken if he didn't actually have me by the neck. "Well?" he demanded. "What have ye to see for yourselves?" "Sorry, sir," I squeaked. He set us both down. I leaned against a wall and coughed, but Israel actually sat down upon the pavement. He is terrified of my employer, and I supposed I could see why. Emerging suddenly from a dark alley in the middle of the night, Barker was terrifying. "Explain," said the Gov. The words tumbled out of my mouth, which was just as well, since Israel was still speechless. I told Barker about the article my friend was writing for the Jewish Chronicle, and how I had offered to help him since it was dangerous to travel Whitechapel alone. Most of it was true. "Why the subterfuge?" he asked. "Why feign a lack of interest in a case you intended to investigate within an hour or 2? "I thought you might not let me go out," I admitted. The Gov broke into a smile, albeit a chilly one. He shook his head. "Thomas, you are an adult. Not that you're acting like one. You may come and go as you like. My only concern would be if you investigated a case we are working on together without my presence. This, however, is not my case, as much as it pains me to admit it, and probably never shall be. I followed you because I had no idea where you were going. Now that I am here, allow me to warn you. These are dangerous streets, gentlemen. Be careful where you go, and don't be afraid to use your Webley if you need to, though only as a last resort." I had not mentioned the pistol, so either he inferred that I would bring it, or he noticed that I carried it under my coat. To ask him which would only give him satisfaction. "You really think the killer would dare attack us in the street? We are full-grown men, not soiled doves," Israel said. It would have sounded better if his voice hadn't cracked. "No, Mr. Zangwill. I am referring to the street gang members and disgruntled workers who have lost their situations recently to Jewish immigrants. I understand there is a so-called vigilance committee afoot in the area. My associate is as Welsh as Tintagel Castle, but he could be mistaken for a Jew while in your company." "You don't think I can handle myself?" I asked. "I do, but it would be folly to attempt to find out either way without a better reason than an assigned article in the Chronicle. No insult to your esteemed journal intended." "But we Jews have nothing to do with these murders," Israel continued. "Perhaps, but one cannot rely on vigilantes to use logic or accept your assurances at face value. Would they sympathize with your people's history of ill treatment?" Barker was referring, of course, to the pogroms, which had occurred in Russia, Poland, and Germany, which had sent tens of thousands of Jews fleeing to England and the United States. "How would I know?" Zangwill asked. "You create a straw man and warn us against it. Have you witnessed this committee you speak of? Do you know what kind of men it comprises, or how many? For all I know, it may be a figment of your imagination." My employer stared at him blankly. That is, I could not read his expression behind the thick moustache and black spectacles he wore at all hours of the day or night, even in darkest Whitechapel. He might be ready to throttle Israel again for having the gall to question his veracity. Barker seemed to grow taller then, and more menacing, like some sort of ogre or troll from a Norwegian storybook. Just as quickly he receded back to his normal size, which is formidable enough at any time. "You did not tell me," the Gov said to me, "that your friend is educated in the debating arts, but then I..."